Welcome to another episode from the Veterinary Medicine Digest. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that touches the lives of countless dogs and, by extension, their human families, Leishmaniasis. This isn't just a simple pet ailment, it's a complex, global health challenge, especially prevalent in the sun-drenched regions of the Mediterranean and beyond. We'll explore what this disease is, how it affects our beloved canine companions, the hurdles we face in diagnosing and controlling it, and exciting new frontiers in veterinary science that promise a brighter future. Our journey begins with understanding the culprit behind canine leishmaniasis. This is an infectious disease caused by a microscopic, flagellate protozoan belonging to the genus Leishmania. Specifically, the form we often talk about in dogs, canine leishmaniasis, is primarily caused by a species called Leishmania-infected. Imagine a tiny, single-celled organism, too small to see with the naked eye, yet capable of wreaking havoc within a dog's body. The transmission of this parasite is as fascinating as it is concerning. It's spread through the bite of a hematophagus, meaning blood-feeding, female sandfly. These aren't your typical mosquitoes. Sandflies are tiny insects, but their bite can carry a powerful punch. In the Old World, which includes the Mediterranean basin, it's the phlebotomous species of sandflies that are the primary vectors. Dogs, unfortunately, play a central role in the life cycle of this parasite. They are considered the principal animal reservoirs for Leishmania-infected. This means that infected dogs can harbor the parasite, acting as a source of infection for sandflies that then go on to bite other hosts, including other dogs and, critically, humans. This close association between humans and animals, particularly domestic dogs, creates an environment ripe for continuous transmission. Think of it. In many rural areas, dogs perform valuable tasks like hunting, guarding homes, and herding flocks, leading to a constant interaction with their environment and with humans. This shared living space, often characterized by deteriorated houses near forests and water resources, can be an ideal biotope for sandflies to thrive, further entrenching the disease in a community. The parasite itself has an intricate dimorphic life cycle, meaning it exists in two main forms. In the sandfly vector, it's in a motile, flagellated stage called the promastogote. Once transmitted to a vertebrate host like a dog, it transforms into a non-motile, intracellular form called the amastogote, which resides and multiplies within the host cells, primarily macrophages. This ability to survive and proliferate within macrophages, which are immune cells designed to engulf and destroy foreign invaders, is a key to the parasite's success and the challenge of the disease. Now, let's talk about the global footprint of Leishmaniasis, particularly in its canine form. This is not a localized issue. It's a significant global health concern, classified as a neglected tropical disease. The disease is endemic in over 90 tropical and subtropical countries across Asia, Africa, the Americas, and Europe. The Mediterranean basin, in particular, is an endemic hotspot for canine leishmaniasis. Recent analyses covering the period from 2000 to 2024 reveal an overall seroprevalence of 16.12% across 17 Mediterranean countries, based on a massive dataset of over 134,000 dogs. Breaking down this prevalence by geography, some regions bear a heavier burden. The highest prevalence rate, a striking 21.73%, was reported in the African continent, followed by southern and Middle Eastern countries. Within specific regions, the Eastern Mediterranean region, or EMRO, showed an estimated prevalence of 22.99%, while the African region, AFARO, was at 17.66%, and the European region, Euro, stood at 14.57%. While the overall difference between these broader regions might not be statistically significant, looking at individual countries tells a more nuanced story. High pooled prevalences have been estimated in countries like Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, France, Italy, Spain, and Algeria. In stark contrast, a much lower prevalence of just 1.94% was recorded in Slovenia, highlighting the varying intensity of the disease even within Europe. The implications of this widespread presence are profound. Canine leishmaniasis poses a considerable threat to both public and veterinary health. With at least 2.5 million infected dogs estimated in southwestern Europe alone, the sheer number of potential reservoirs is staggering. Annually, between 0.7 and 1.2 million new human cases of leishmaniasis are reported worldwide, with approximately 350 million people at risk of infection. Dogs are inextricably linked to human health in this context, and controlling the disease in canine populations is a crucial step in preventing human visceral leishmaniasis. So, what drives the spread and persistence of canine leishmaniasis? Several risk factors come into play, influencing who gets infected and where. One significant factor is age. Older dogs, generally those over 1 year old, exhibit a higher seroprevalence rate of 18.72% compared to younger dogs, where the rate is much lower at 0.077%. This can be attributed to several reasons. Older dogs have had more cumulative exposure to sandfly bites over their lifetime, increasing their chances of infection. Additionally, Leishmaniasis is often a chronic disease, meaning latent, seropositive infections can persist for extended periods, only to manifest clinically when the immune system is weakened, perhaps due to other concurrent illnesses, a scenario more common in older animals. Another critical risk factor is the clinical status of the dog. Our sources indicate that dogs showing visible clinical signs of Leishmaniasis have a significantly higher seroprevalence rate of 30.39% compared to asymptomatic dogs, who show no outward symptoms, at 13.61%. However, it's vital to remember that both symptomatic and asymptomatic dogs can serve as sources of infection for sandflies. This means an apparently healthy dog could still be carrying and transmitting the parasite, making early detection and control challenging, but absolutely necessary. The dog's activity or lifestyle also plays a substantial role. Farming dogs, guarding dogs, and hunting dogs show the highest seroprevalence rates at 23.89%, 20.22%, and 17.46%, respectively. Stray dogs also have a notable prevalence of 14.55%. In contrast, pet dogs, those typically kept indoors or with more consistent veterinary care, have a much lower seroprevalence of 8.04%. This difference isn't surprising. Farm, guard, and hunting dogs are often tied up or live outdoors, increasing their exposure to sandfly bites. They may also lack the regular veterinary monitoring that pet dogs receive, making them more susceptible to the disease. These findings suggest that control interventions should particularly target dogs in rural areas and those with outdoor lifestyles. While not as statistically significant as age or activity, some observations were made regarding breed and sex. Purebred dogs had a higher pooled prevalence, 19.43%, compared to crossbred dogs, 12.07%. The literature notes that while all dog breeds are generally susceptible, some purebreds, such as German Shepherds, Boxers, Rottweilers, and Cock Spaniels, are known for their high sensitivity to Leishmaniasis. Conversely, certain breeds, like the Ibizan Hound, have shown evidence of genetically developed resistance and a significant immune response to infection. So, while breed is a controversial factor, it's certainly worth further investigation. As for sex, male dogs had a slightly higher seroprevalence, 15.45%, than females, 13.38%, though this difference was not statistically significant. This minor disparity might be linked to the roaming behavior often observed in males, increasing their exposure risks. Beyond individual dog characteristics, broader environmental and socioeconomic factors are powerful drivers of Leishmaniasis prevalence. In low-income countries, particularly in Africa, where canine Leishmaniasis rates are highest, the spread of the disease is more pronounced. Urbanization and various socioeconomic factors, such as living in peri-urban areas close to forests and water resources or in humid, deteriorated houses, create favorable environments for sandflies to flourish and for dog populations to act as reservoir hosts. Ecological changes, including agricultural activities and land use, also contribute to the increased abundance of phlebotomine sandflies. A crucial factor exacerbating the disease's impact is the lack of adequate veterinary care. This translates to limited implementation of infectiveness control strategies, such as the use of insecticide-repellent collars or the absence of robust vaccine protocols. Even where veterinary drugs are used, their extensive application can lead to the development of resistance in the pathogen, and treated dogs may become infectious again after treatment, highlighting the complexity of control. Climate change and global warming are also enhancing the spread of canine Leishmaniasis, not just in Europe but worldwide, by affecting vector distribution and abundance. Furthermore, political conflicts and wars in regions like the Middle East, Palestine, Syria, have unfortunately hindered the implementation of preventive strategies, leading to increased disease incidence. This is coupled with a noticeable lack of epidemiological reports from these war-torn regions, making it harder to track and address the problem effectively. Given the complex epidemiology and the zoonotic nature of Leishmaniasis, effective diagnosis is paramount. Traditionally, diagnosing canine Leishmaniasis has relied on invasive techniques. These methods often involve taking blood draws or aspirates from lymph nodes or bone marrow, followed by serological or molecular testing. Serological techniques like the indirect fluorescent antibody test, or IFAT, and enzyme-linked immunosorbent assays, ELISA, are widely used in epidemiological surveys, with IFAT even recommended as a gold standard. Molecular methods, such as polymerase chain reaction or PCR, are known for their high sensitivity and can be applied to various biological samples, including lymph node aspirates, bone marrow, skin fragments, conjunctiva, Buffy coat, and peripheral blood. However, these traditional methods come with significant limitations. They are often costly, require specialized equipment, and demand trained personnel, making them less accessible, especially in resource-limited or rural veterinary settings where the disease burden can be highest. More importantly, invasive procedures can cause physical distress to the animals. There's also the challenge of variations in seroprevalence values due to a lack of consensus on cutoff dilutions and the use of different antigens in serological tests. While PCR is highly sensitive, its effectiveness can vary depending on the specific PCR variant, the target DNA sequence, and the health status of the dog, being more effective in clinical cases than in subclinical infections. This highlights the ongoing need for more reliable and accessible diagnostic tools. A comprehensive approach, ideally combining both serological and molecular methods, is often recommended to leverage their respective strengths and account for limitations, always considering the stage of infection and appropriate biological samples. But imagine if we could detect this disease without a needle, without stress, just by analyzing something as simple as a dog's breath or hair. This brings us to a groundbreaking development, a new, non-invasive diagnostic platform for canine Leishmaniasis. This innovative system aims to overcome the limitations of traditional methods by analyzing volatile organic compounds, or VCs, emitted from dogs. What exactly are VCs? They are low molecular weight metabolites, essentially chemical signals, that are emitted through biological processes. Think of them as tiny odor footprints that can tell us a lot about what's happening inside an organism. Specific VC signatures have been linked to various infectious or metabolic conditions, including parasitic diseases like Leishmaniasis. The very presence of Leishmania-infected can subtly modulate a host's metabolism, and these changes, in turn, can be detected through the volatile compounds the body excretes. This new platform combines cutting-edge gas-sensing technologies with the power of artificial intelligence. At its heart are portable gas-sensing arrays, sometimes called e-noses, equipped with specialized multi-walled carbon nanotube or polymer sensors. These sensors are calibrated to detect specific VCs, such as aldehydes, ketones, alkanes, and alcohols, which are known to be connected to the metabolic changes associated with Leishmaniasis. These devices even have built-in filters to prevent contamination and Wi-Fi modules for real-time data transfer. Here's how the diagnostic process works. Breath and hair samples are collected non-invasively. As VC sensors continuously characterize the concentration changes of these compounds, they generate analog voltage signals. These analog signals are then converted into digital data, timestamped, encrypted, and securely sent to a cloud service using a representational state transfer application programming interface, a RESTful API. Once in the cloud, the VC signals, along with metadata and labels indicating whether the source dog was a control or infected case, are stored. Before analysis, the raw signals undergo several pre-processing techniques to improve their quality. This includes baseline correction to account for sensor drift, noise reduction using filters and smoothing algorithms, and normalization to standardize values across different devices. Then, crucial features are extracted from the VC curves, things like the mean, variance, skewness, frequency domain information using fast Fourier transform, and temporal responses such as rising and falling times. Each sample is then meticulously annotated with its corresponding clinical classification, preparing it for the next stage, artificial intelligence-based classification. The artificial intelligence and machine learning models are the brains of this system. They use supervised learning techniques to classify canine samples as either infected or non-infected based on their unique VC signatures. A variety of models are employed and compared, including random forest classifiers, support vector machines with radial basis function kernels, gradient boosting machines, and multilayer perceptrons, all chosen for their effectiveness with this type of data. These models are trained using comprehensive datasets, which are carefully balanced using techniques like SMOT, the synthetic minority oversampling technique, to ensure optimal learning even if infected cases are less numerous than control cases. Evaluation metrics like accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, and the AUC-ROC curve are used to ensure the models are performing reliably in identifying disease positives. The most significant VC features identified as predictors of infection include the peak amplitude of specific volatile gases, the rise time of certain VCs, and signal skewness. Interestingly, the time to maximum signal was found to be significantly shorter in infected dogs, and asymmetric VC emission patterns were observed, which likely reflect the metabolic alterations occurring due to the parasitic infection. These findings not only validate the biological relevance of these VC features in Leishmaniasis progression, but also underscore the potential for this technology to uncover how Leishmania-infected subtly modulates its host's metabolism. This sophisticated system is built on a multi-tiered, modular, and cloud-native software architecture. This design ensures maintainability, scalability, and interoperability across different users and locations. The cloud infrastructure, hosted on microservices managed by Kubernetes, provides redundancy and scalability, handling vast amounts of data, user profiles, and diagnostic reports in encrypted cloud databases. Real-time processing of incoming sensor data, facilitated by event handling systems, allows for near-instant diagnostic feedback in clinical settings. One of the most powerful aspects of this platform is its geographic integration and the diverse user interfaces it offers, fostering collaboration among all stakeholders. This isn't just a lab tool, it's a network solution. For veterinarians, there's a purpose-built dashboard that streamlines the diagnostic workflow. They can upload breath and hair sample data directly from their VC gas sensing devices, linking them automatically to patient records. The integrated machine learning engine analyzes these samples in real time, providing interpretable results, a classification of infected or control, along with probability scores. This dashboard allows for trend analysis by comparing current samples with historical data, which is invaluable for clinical decision-making and evaluating treatment efficacy. For complex or ambiguous cases, a built-in referral mechanism automatically routes these cases to regional veterinary hospitals or faculty specialists based on geographical proximity and required medical specialization. Integrated scheduling tools also help manage appointments, making ongoing care more efficient. Essentially, this dashboard acts as a front end for clinical users, simplifying everything from sample sourcing to decision support and integration with the broader veterinary landscape. Academia and researchers gain access to a specialized portal tailored for scientific research and educational use. This interface provides robust capabilities for data exploration, public health monitoring, and collaborative development. Researchers have access to anonymized datasets of VC samples, ensuring compliance with data privacy regulations like GDPR and ethical guidelines. This data is crucial for epidemiological studies, understanding disease transmission patterns, and exploring new diagnostic hypotheses. The portal also features an epidemiology dashboard that visualizes diagnostic results in heat maps, charts, and timelines, offering real-time insights into the geographic and clinical dynamics of canine leishmaniasis, an invaluable tool for surveillance and public health planning. Furthermore, it creates a feedback loop, allowing faculty to review AI model outputs, annotate misclassifications, and refine training data to continuously improve model performance. Finally, for dog owners, the platform offers a simple, intuitive web and mobile application. This owner portal provides a holistic, user-centric approach to veterinary diagnostics. Owners are greeted with a dashboard centered on their pet's profile, including demographic information, vaccination status, diagnostic history, and veterinarian notes. A key feature is the appointment scheduling module, which uses geolocation to find nearby participating veterinary clinics, suggesting optimal time slots and allowing direct booking. Within hours of a diagnostic session, results are available in easy-to-understand language, with explanatory notes from the veterinarian and visual cues to indicate urgency. A notification system sends real-time alerts for vaccinations, appointments, disease prevention recommendations, and educational content tailored to regional risks. Critically, owners retain complete control over their pet's data sharing preferences, fostering trust and aligning with data privacy standards. The owner portal thus strengthens the link between pet owners and the veterinary ecosystem, promoting early disease detection, better compliance with care plans, and a more proactive approach to canine health. The practical implementation of this platform has already seen pilot deployments in Romania and an eco-epidemiological and clinical exploratory study in Tunisia, with data collected from 72 dogs. While the initial dataset showed an imbalance between infected and control cases, the use of techniques like SMOTE helped balance this for optimal model training. This leap in diagnostic technology is built upon a deeper understanding of the host-pathogen interaction at a molecular level. Scientific studies have delved into how Leishmania parasites manipulate their host cells, specifically macrophages, to ensure their survival. Macrophages are the primary host cells for Leishmania species, and the parasites strategically alter macrophage metabolism to evade the immune system. Research into gene expression changes in macrophages infected with Leishmania-infected and Leishmania tropica has revealed fascinating insights. For example, there's a significant upregulation of genes like STAT1 and STAT2, which are key mediators of the JK-STAT pathway. This pathway is crucial for cytokine signaling, which means it plays a vital role in how immune cells communicate and respond to infection. These findings align with previous in vivo and in vitro studies, confirming that the parasite actively induces these changes. Another chemokine, CCL4, which is involved in recruiting macrophages to the site of infection, also shows elevated expression in infected macrophages. This consistent upregulation in both visceral and canine Leishmaniasis cases points to its significant role in the body's response. Furthermore, the gene IL-23A, associated with Th17 immune responses, shows increased expression, supporting its involvement in Leishmania's immune modulation tactics. Intriguingly, alongside these pro-inflammatory responses, an anti-inflammatory mediator called IL-1RN, which acts as an antagonist of IL-1 signaling, is also significantly upregulated. This suggests a delicate balancing mechanism at play, where the host tries to prevent excessive inflammation that could damage its own tissues, even as it fights the parasite. Studies have shown that in the absence of this IL-1R antagonist, the disease can progress more severely, indicating its importance in restricting immune overresponse. Understanding these intricate gene expression patterns can significantly improve our knowledge of disease biology, ultimately leading to better diagnostic and therapeutic strategies. Beyond the science and technology, addressing Leishmaniasis demands a strong focus on the human element, knowledge, attitudes, and practices. A cross-sectional study conducted among medical and veterinary professionals in Pakistan highlighted the critical role of public awareness in disease prevention, especially in endemic areas. The study emphasized the One Health approach, a philosophy that recognizes the interconnectedness of human health, animal health, and the environment. This holistic approach is crucial for preventing and controlling zoonotic diseases like Leishmaniasis, which move between animals and humans by promoting collaboration across various health disciplines. The findings from this study in Pakistan were quite encouraging, showing high levels of awareness. A significant majority, 97.5% of participants, had heard about Leishmania, and 86% correctly identified it as a protozoan disease. Crucially, 71.8% believed in the zoonotic transmission of Leishmania from animals to humans, and 76.7% knew it was transmitted by sandflies. There was also a positive attitude towards the One Health concept, with 90.2% of respondents aware of it, and 95.5% acknowledging the zoonotic nature of the disease. A resounding 80% considered animal health very important when addressing human health issues, and 74.6% believed that knowledge about One Health could help prevent Leishmaniasis. These positive attitudes were reflected in some practices, with 56.4% of participants observing sandfly control measures in their communities, including the use of bed nets, 44.9%, insecticide spraying, 27.7%, and environmental management, 14.7%. Interestingly, the study found that younger participants generally demonstrated better knowledge, attitudes, and perceptions compared to older individuals, suggesting that educational interventions could be most effective when targeted at different age groups. Veterinarians and government hospital staff also showed better knowledge, attitudes, and practices, likely due to their professional exposure and formal education on One Health concepts. It was also noted that males had significantly higher knowledge, attitudes, and practices and adopted more preventive measures than females, a disparity that highlights an area for targeted outreach. However, the path to widespread adoption and success for new diagnostic technologies is not without its challenges. Even with this innovative platform, issues like consistent sensor calibration across multiple geographic sites can be tricky, as environmental variations like temperature and humidity can affect sensor outputs. Maintaining data quality and signal integrity is also crucial. Occasional noise or data packet loss can occur, especially in rural areas with unstable network conditions. Addressing these requires robust edge device architectures and asynchronous data pipelines. Another less predictable challenge is model drift, where the VSE profiles might change over time due to seasonality, dietary shifts, or other variables, requiring frequent retraining of the AI models to prevent reduced accuracy. Despite these hurdles, the scalability and generalizability of this non-invasive platform are immense. Its modular, cloud-native architecture means new clinics, hospitals, and academic partners can be on board with minimal configuration. More excitingly, the VSE analysis capabilities are not limited to Leishmaniasis, with suitable sensor reconfiguration and AI model retraining. The same infrastructure could be leveraged to diagnose other infectious or metabolic conditions in animals, such as respiratory infections, kidney disease, or co-infections. For broader adoption, particularly at governmental or international levels, future iterations will need to ensure interoperability with existing electronic health record standards and data governance frameworks across borders. Finally, the ethical aspects and trust are paramount for the long-term success of any health platform. Robust data privacy measures, adhering to principles like GDPR, with explicit consent management and data anonymization for research purposes, are fundamental. Transparency in how the AI algorithms arrive at their diagnostic decisions is also critical for veterinarians and pet owners to build trust in automated predictions. Allowing users to manage their data-sharing preferences and ensuring clear, informed consent from dog owners, especially for academic purposes, are also vital. Ultimately, fostering trust among veterinarians through continuous training, human-in-the-loop feedback systems, and joint validation with veterinary faculties will be key to integrating AI into clinical decisions. The global distribution of canine leishmaniasis highlights the necessity for such cross-border surveillance and non-invasive diagnostic tools, particularly in underrepresented or resource-limited regions. While countries like Brazil, Spain, and Italy bear some of the highest burdens, moderate case estimates in Africa, such as Morocco, Algeria, and Ethiopia, are likely underreported due to limitations in veterinary infrastructure and surveillance. Emerging evidence from Southeast Asia, including Thailand, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, also points to potential deficiencies in current detection and reporting systems. In conclusion, canine leishmaniasis is a persistent and significant disease, deeply intertwined with global public health. The insights gained from systematic reviews highlight its widespread prevalence and the influence of various risk factors, from a dog's age and activity to broader socioeconomic and environmental contexts. Understanding the complex molecular interplay within infected cells provides foundational knowledge for future interventions. And critically, fostering knowledge, positive attitudes, and proactive practices, all guided by the One Health approach, is essential for effective prevention and control. The development of non-invasive diagnostic platforms utilizing advanced technology like volatile organic compound analysis and artificial intelligence offers a revolutionary path forward, promising earlier, more accessible, and less stressful diagnosis for our canine friends. While challenges remain, the dedication of the veterinary and scientific community to innovating and collaborating across borders gives us immense hope for a future where leishmaniasis can be effectively monitored, managed, and ultimately mitigated. Thank you for listening. The titles for the referenced papers are in the video description. From VetMed Digest, where we keep minds inspired, hearts light, and tails wagging.